I just want to make this video regarding Destiny and the announcement that June 9th, next week, it's all over. Now, I could blame Sony. I wanted to blame Sony, but we all know whose fault it is. It's Bungie. It's no wonder why when Sony did their earnings report back up like a month and a half ago, and they were talking about how much money they made, and then they looked at Bungie and basically threw Bungie under the bus. How's those tire treads, Bungie? Letting us know that Bungie lost $500 million, $550 million. And as a company as a whole, they lost $800 million of their value from when Sony bought them back in 2022. So basically, Bungie cost Sony a combined total of $1.3 billion. And I was wondering why. And then just keep in mind, too, that Sony was glazing all over Marathon. And I understand why. See, when Sony bought Bungie, they already had Destiny. Destiny was, say what you will, was a very successful game, even back in 2022. I know people disagree with that, but bear with me. That's why Sony bought Bungie, because they want to buy Bungie because of their experiences in delivering in live service games. And that's why Sony was like, you're going to make us a new IP. It's going to be called Marathon. And that's the reason why they want marathons, because they can hang marathon. They can hang their hat on marathons, what I meant to say. Because Sony cannot sit there and say, yay, Destiny's ours. They can't say that. Because Destiny's already been going at that point with Bungie for a long time by the time that Bungie bought them. So now Bungie wants their own IP, under their banner to say, our game. But as I said, we all found out it's Bungie's fault. It really boils down to Bungie. And like, again, that's why Sony threw Bungie under the bus, because they deserve it. I mean, Evase covered this a couple of days ago, that one of the developers that used to work for Bungie had an idea for a Xivu Arath raid. Basically, you're in the streets of Tor battle, and instead of doing the usual mechanics in a raid, you got to do certain things and then initiate the fact that now Xivu Arath is going to be a bullet sponge. No, this time around in this raid, Xivu Arath and her giant ass self is chasing you down the streets of Tor battle, swinging her sword, guarding your fire team, dying on your left, your fire team members dying on your right, and you're getting chased down by Xivu Arath. A very different raid, a very awesome raid if that was going to be the case. But what does Bungie say? Don't worry about it. We ain't doing that. I mean, there was another developers that were like, we were listening to the fans. We wanted to give the fans what they want. Bungie said no. And they were fearing reprisals. They were fearing retaliation if they spoke up. I mean, they were basically saying it was Bungie's higher-ups, okay? Not Sony. So it was Bungie. It is Bungie's fault. It is because of Bungie's mismanagement and Bungie's self-sabotage on themselves. They did it to themselves. And of course, Bungie didn't listen to us, the Destiny community. I mean, now we're getting this last update on June 9th, and we're basically getting everything we want. We're getting the Sparrow Racing League. We're getting every exotic now has a catalyst, is going to get a catalyst. And patrol zones are going to get better. And where was this before? Where was it then? And so here we are. And, we all know that there was a petition that had like 300,000 signatures. I mean, probably more now, for Sony to make Destiny 3 finally, so we could tie up all the loose ends on the lore and everything else like that. And Sony had a big hoo-ha earlier this week. And of course, Aztec Cross and many others were like, Destiny 3, Destiny 3, Destiny 3, you get the drift. Anyway, is that going to change Sony's mind? I hope so. I believe in the power of the people. I believe in people power, I meant to say. What's the difference at this point? Because, come June 9th, there's going to be a server slam. I mean, we got we got former Destiny players that haven't played Destiny since Beyond Light or haven't played Destiny since Shadowkeep. You get what I'm saying? Old clans are reforming. People are coming back. Now, granted, there's millions of Destiny players that still don't play Destiny and that will never come back. That's fine. But we're seeing a surge now. And as much as Sony wants to have Marathon to be successful, well, those numbers are not looking good either. And as a matter of fact, from what I've seen recently, the player count for Destiny far outpaced Marathon's players count. And Marathon's a new game. So, Guardians are uniting. Remember what it said, right? Guardians make their own fate. I believe that. I really do believe that. But, this is why Sony's laying off half of Bungie's workforce because Bungie is inept. They're incompetent. They don't listen to the developers. They don't listen to the fans. And they're just winging it at this point. We're going to give you what we want, not what you want. Did we ask for Edge of Fate to be a Metroid game? No. Did we ask for Renegades to be another Star Wars game? No. Did we ask, as a Destiny community, did we ask for Marathon? No. It's funny, though, that remember when Bungie was with Activision and they broke off from Activision because they didn't want to be controlled by overlords? And now here's Sony, who bought Bungie, and now the overlords at Sony are telling them, you're going to make Marathon and like it, and you're going to make it successful, and we're going to help you make it successful, even though we, the Destiny community, never wanted it. Now, before I go, I want to say this. I'm tired of the lies. What are the lies? That it's going to be too costly to make Destiny 3. I'm going to give you Capcom. You know what they're saying? Hold my beer. Because when they came out with Resident Evil Requiem the week before Marathon dropped, okay, it was a pure campaign game. You could play 2 characters, and they charge $80 base price. And you know full well the deluxe editions of Resident Evil Requiem was going to be far more than that. You think that stopped people from dropping cold hard cash to go buy that game? Let me tell you something. 5 million copies sold in the first week alone. Hell, you couldn't even get the physical copies from GameStop. They sold out. So if you wanted to get Requiem, you had to go buy it digitally because they had nothing for the actual physical copies. You would have to wait, whatever the waiting period was or still is for Resident Evil Requiem. It's sold. It's sold for $80 a pop, base price. Let's talk about GTA 6. Okay, I know, before anybody says anything. At this point, only God knows when GTA 6 is ever coming out, if it ever does. The point is, you know full well when that game drops, Rockstar is going to charge whatever price. I can't say $80. I don't know. But I guarantee you that that's not going to be a problem for anybody who's been waiting for that game for ages. If Rockstar drops that game for $80 base price, okay. If Rockstar drops that game at $100 base price, I don't see that stopping anybody from buying that game. I can't wait for GTA 6 to drop because I want to see, number one, how much they're going to charge for that game, and how much it's going to sell within the first week. Like I said, Resident Evil Requiem sold 5 million copies at $80 in the first week. I can only imagine what GTA 6 is going to be selling, number one, selling for, and how many. GTA 6 might break all kinds of records because of the hype and the longevity and how people have been waiting for it. Time will tell. Here's my point about Destiny 3. Bungie, pay attention. because I say this because I was in a chat with my friend a week and a half ago, and he was debating whether or not he's going to buy the deluxe edition of Forza for $120. You know what he did? He bought the deluxe edition of Forza for $120. Didn't care. He thought about it. He still bought it, and he had fun with it. What I'm going to tell you, Bungie, if you ever decide to make a Destiny 3 and you think that charging us $80 a pop for the base price, or $100 a pop for the base price, throwing deluxe editions might make it go higher, and you think that's going to stop us from buying it? Are you kidding me? Listen, when you came out with Beyond Light, Witch Queen, Lightfall, and the Final Shape, and I bought the deluxe editions for each of those expansions. That's $100. Don't tell me that I won't pay $120 for a brand new Destiny 3 campaign game. Let me give you some ideas, and I'll cut and I'll leave. How about this? Instead of giving us one raid boss, give us two raid bosses. Who that would be? Savathun and Xivu Arath. The theme, day and night. As we know, Savathun has the light. There's your day. And we already know that Xivu Arath is still hardcore sword logic. There's your night. How do you play into this? Well, there's Aramis and there's Kaido. Obviously, Kaido with Xivu Arath. How does Savathun go with Aramis? Well, Savathun wants Aramis's echo. Remember, Oryx is still at the ocean. Okay, his body still lives at the bottom of the oceans of Titan. So Savathun wants to grab that echo to resurrect Oryx. Because remember, Ghosts of the Deep? That's what they're trying to do. Bring back Oryx into the light. So now Savathun's going to sit there and say, yeah, you know what? Let me go take that echo. And then the raid will take place on Titan to fight Savathun. Hey, you know what you need to bring back, Bungie? Remember Savathun's song, that big ass shrieker? That'll be great. That'll be a great mid boss. Just saying. And oh, by the way, let's talk about the night version of the raid, Xivu Arath. Can you please do exactly what that one developer said and make Xivu Arath chase your ass down Tora Battle? Okay, that'll be great. So, with that said, I'll see you, my fellow Guardians, on June 9th. I mean, I can't wait. I'm excited. Hopefully I can get on, because we all know how this goes. I hope I can get on day one. If not, I'll be on the next week. And, what's up, Guardian?